I find it really interesting. This week, the University of California has announced that it's ending the use of SAT and ACT in admissions.
It never meant anything anyway.
A lot of the universities have canceled the need for those for admissions this fall because the kids couldn't take the tests in March or, July, I think. And it said that College Board had lost $45 million in revenue just for the spring testing. And I'm sitting here and I remember taking the ACT, and I have an extremely high comprehension rate. I was a pretty good student, but I did horrible on that test. And when I was saying something to Tu about it, the thing that came to me the most was, he's been outside of the U.S. for 9 years. His education is a lot different than kids in the U.S. And to have to force a child to take this test, a standardized test, when the education across the country isn't standardized, just puts them at a disadvantage.
But it was never a test of what you knew. It's an aptitude test. People need to understand that. I've been saying this for so long. It's an aptitude test. It's a test that only tells people, do you have the potential to be able to do well at university? That is it. In other words, it tells you, could you be a D student at university? It's not telling you anything else. It's just an aptitude test. So that's why you have people that do really poorly or not so great or mediocre on SATs and ACTs, but then they go to university and they get straight A's. It's like, what did that test tell you? That I could do well at university. I was an aptitude test. It doesn't matter where I am on the test, but everybody acts like this is the test and because the way universities handled the results, that made it have more weight than it ever should have, because it was like giving an IQ test.
Right.
You're going to give an IQ test to graduating seniors of high school, give them an IQ test, and then use that to be, if you have a certain, like the Forrest Gump thing, you're going to use that to decide who gets in your university. I'm sorry, but that's wrong.
Yep.
And we know it's wrong today. Well, it was wrong to use as ACTs and SATs. That shouldn't be what, I get that if you're a recruiter, and I would love to have a recruiter come on and talk about this, but how would any recruiter measure your ability to do well? Like, should you come to this university? How would a recruiter even do that without all these other little metrics? What if I just hate math and that's why I don't do well in math? But if I have to take it for this class, I can get a B grade in that class at university. But I don't like it. I didn't like it in high school. Or I didn't like the teacher. The teacher was an ass. There's all these other factors in there. And it's just a way to keep people out. It's not a way to figure out who should be in.
Yeah.
It's just used as a tool to say, you know what, we put your face up against that brown paper bag, you're a little bit too dark and you can't come here. That means you're not smart enough to be here. It's just as arbitrary. Yeah. Which has been done, people. Some people say it's still being done. I think universities, it really should be about your first year. You bring your ass to university, like you can take the placement tests. Placement tests are useful. Take the placement tests, now you take the classes. If you do well in those classes, your ass should be able to come back.
Right.
You can do the work. You learn the stuff. Congratulations. Damn everything that came before it, because it doesn't matter what came before it. It doesn't matter if you were working for 20 years and now you're going back to school and now you're a freshman. It doesn't matter about any of that other stuff. You can do the work. You've proved you can do the work.
Yep.
That first year is a probationary year. It kind of should be that way anyway.
Yeah.
And what if What if that first year you did really bad in one class, but you did really well in the others? Should you be kicked out? No, you should take that class again. You should learn that thing. I mean, I guess from a money standpoint, it's like, why are you keeping people out of your university?
Right.
When you think about it, it's like, it's not China. It's not like there's only 12 universities or whatever. You know, I mean, it's literal. In the United States, you're talking about thousands of universities at all levels. So you've got your community colleges, you've got your 4 years, blah, blah, blah. You've got your ranking of how well they are. Why not? Why not? Why are you trying to limit the amount of people? Because it's a members only club. That's why. Stop doing that to people. Get them in there. Get the butts in the seats. Because if they can afford to be there, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So get them in there. Get the butts in the seats. Because honestly, there is 100% no reason to go to anybody's university now.
Not when you can do it at home.
There's no reason. I mean, when you think about it, what do you do at university? You listen to lectures, which you don't need to be in the room for. You read, and then you produce something that gets graded. Whether it's a paper, an art project. I mean, you produce a thing.
You can do all of that in the freaking bathroom.
Well, no, what I'm saying is you can do all that without ever going to a university, without ever setting foot on a campus.
Well, Aaron and I were looking at
which is what I need to do for my master's.
The updated Coursera,
100%.
the updated Coursera classes for game design, because they've just added loads of classes. Michigan State is now offering an entire program on Coursera.
I don't know if I can do that. Anyway, continue.
For game design. You do realize that our son could take these classes for free, but he doesn't want to take it because of Michigan State.
Well, he should do it. I can't do it. But you should do it. Then I can talk bad about you.
Yeah, but it's been ingrained in my...
Look, man. No. Look, taking university classes for free, I don't give a fuck where they are. I really don't care where they are.
And it's the program that you want to study.
Yeah, that's not... No. See? Hear what I said. Taking the classes for free. See, taking classes for free, I don't give a fuck who it is. It doesn't matter where it is. It's for free. Find them classes at a different university for free.
They don't have them.
You see what I'm saying? You're talking about classes for free. Yeah, everybody should do that.
See?
Everybody.
Not
I don't
just
care
because I'm
where
a
it is.
Spartan. Go green.
You know,
You could be a Spartan too.
No, you don't have to be that. But you can take the classes for free. I did my whole degree at UMSL and basically never did anything on that campus. Like, I did nothing with anybody on that campus. I didn't do anything that was the life of the campus type stuff. I literally went to work, went home, went to school, went home, went to work, went home. That's all I did. And get my degree and be out. You don't have to participate in that which is the school. You're only just taking classes. And from this distance, you're 100% just taking classes. So take the classes. If it's the thing you want to... Because that was the thing that I've been telling people around the world that I've been teaching is if you know what you want to learn, go learn it. But don't act like that you're going to Harvard and that you need to go to Harvard to learn it. Harvard may not be good for that thing that you want to learn. Harvard may be good for that thing and that thing, but the thing that you want, it's not good for anyway. It's another school that's better at that thing.
Yep.
So if that's who's offering it, man, take that shit.
I remember having that conversation our first year.
I will talk bad about you, but still, take it.
I remember having the same conversation with a student in China who wanted to go into journalism, but they had to go to Harvard. And I'm like, but Harvard isn't known for journalism.
Yeah, somebody wanted to go to Harvard for like art or something.
And I just was like, you need to go someplace else. And so we had to look right there in the class.
Damn.
Where should you go? Where are the best schools in the U.S. for journalism? And they had never heard of these schools. They only know the Ivy League school, a handful of
the
Ivy League.
names of the
Right.
They don't know nothing about the schools.
They know nothing, and they think that they have to go there to be successful in whatever chosen path they have. They don't understand.
They don't understand. But see, that's just it. Most people around the world don't understand the fact that you could have a small school in some state, and they are the number one in the world at that thing. But you will never know their name. I mean, it's, you know.
The other day when you were dogging Michigan State, because my niece is going to go there, and
Terrible.
you have family members that are going to go there this year. But I went to see where they ranked in the country as far as their programs. They're number 8 in the country. It's not like they're a bad school.
So, I don't mean I gotta like them.
I
also don't like Harvard either. So
I'm not saying that you should like them, but Aaron should truly consider taking those courses.
Take them classes, man. If it's free. I've already said it. I don't have to say it again.
Dude.
I'm sorry, but taking classes and going to school. These are two different ideas that I think going to school is about to die. The idea of going to school is living in or near the campus, having the interactions on campus, doing the things that are for students on that particular campus, going to sporting events on the campus. These are the life of the student on the campus, and that is going to school. That is a different thing than taking classes.
Right.
Okay? It's like, let's say you worked as, like me. I don't like Michigan State at all. I was born in Lansing, and I don't like Michigan State. Now, if I was a teacher, keeping my certification, right? But I lived and worked in Lansing, Michigan. And I was a teacher trying to keep my certification. Don't you think I would take classes at Michigan State? Of course I would. Because it's right there. It's local. I need to be able to go to work every day, but I also need to, take a class or two every, in the evenings. Yeah, I'm going to Michigan State, but I'm not doing the life of the student at Michigan State. I am literally just taking the classes needed for my certification as a teacher, blah, 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 blah.
And taking the classes doesn't mean you have to go to the place anymore.
Can you say that without the yawn?
I know, what?
Taking the classes doesn't mean you have to go to the place anymore.
I don't get what you're saying, go to the place.
You're saying going to school is dying. So if you're just
dying?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
No, I'm saying that because of COVID-19, so many schools are going to be educating people around the world without them ever coming to the campus.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying is dying.
Why would it just stop then?
Because it's going to be cheaper, and they're going to make more money. If I can sit there and I can take my device with its camera and I can teach, and I could be in the classroom teaching anywhere from 20 to 500 students, because the classes
lecture halls can be that big
in large schools. Anywhere from that number of students, right? But while I'm teaching and lecturing, I can also be lecturing to thousands of people, paying customers around the world at the same time.
It gets better than that, because these Coursera classes, there are no live lectures. These are all pre-recorded lectures.
That's a whole nother thing.
So you lecture to a classroom full of 500 students, they record it now.
Right, it can be there for...
It can be there for the next 20 years.
Yeah, like the one...
Hopefully not.
The one game design one I did was like from 2014.
Right, but that's just
it. Like the one I just finished.
A math class is still a math class. You don't,
The acquiring literacy class I just took was from 2012.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, but as a school, that owns that content
Yep.
now. You're able to reach so many people. Why do you...
Worldwide.
You honestly do not want them coming to your campus.
Cost you more money to have them there.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not just have a bunch of small spaces that teachers can then lecture in? They can have a board if they want or whatever, or an electronic board, but they can now talk to and have students talk, because that was the other thing, is most times there was no interaction.
Yeah, the one
And
class
now
I'm
you can
taking
do
now,
Live.
Right.
the first week I was like, dang, this is really long. Like there were four things I had to write in the first half of the week. There were like 32 sections in this class for week 1, and the whole point was they wanted some sort of interaction between the students. So I would have to write my response, whatever I was thinking, and then I would have to go and respond to at least 2 other people who had responded. So it's not like they are cutting out that interaction in all of the classes. I prefer if they did, because I don't need it. But
you're not the only one taking the class.
exactly. So I understand why they do it. But the courses are more convenient because I can do it whenever, wherever. I can do it on my iPad, I can do it on my phone, I can do it on my laptop, no matter where I am. And I'm still getting the information. There's no need to send a student to a university, except for there is a value of allowing a young person,
Human interaction.
not just a human interaction, but to learn how to manage you without adults.
Like going to school, being
Like,
at a
Being
school.
My
alone,
first
being
year-
physically alone.
Right. My first
No,
year at
you're not gonna
university,
ever be
you're
alone.
never alone. Trust me, you're never alone. But my first year at university, my grandfather thought it was imperative that I live on campus. The university was only 8 minutes from my house. But he thought it was imperative that I live on campus. And it was. I really grew up a lot that first semester because I had to learn to manage my own time. Nobody was going to wake me up for class. Nobody was going to make sure my homework was done. Nobody was going to make sure that I was on time for work, for my 3 jobs. Nobody...
Yeah, the responsibility.
You have to learn to
the
do-
idea of responsibility is definitely heightened when you go off to school. But like I said, I think a lot of that is changing. There's a necessity that it changes, and we are now living in a world where most people are not going out and being on their own even after they graduate. They're staying at home, much like what they do here. Culturally speaking, it's just a normal thing.
Yeah, here they live with their parents till they're almost 30.
That's starting to change.
Yeah.
Where young men and women are staying at home longer through university, after university. They're staying at home. And I think there is a shift in the importance of having all of that independence that we thought was so important, and our parents may have thought that was so important. I think it's shifting now to a world where it's more important to not saddle people with the burden of debt.
Yeah.
And so we're now starting to look at it like, how do we mitigate this debt that students are going to incur, like I have. They're trying to find ways to not have that, and so parents are thinking of it not when you turn 18, get your ass out.
Right.
Because if that happens, you're going to start incurring debt.
Yep.
And I think we're starting to see that that's a bad way to go. It's not like it was back in the day where an 18-year-old could go out and get a job
and support themselves.
Yeah. See, that world is basically gone because we've said that it's more necessary that you get the college degree in order to get the job. Whereas before, like our parents and our grandparents, it was get the high school diploma in order to get the job.
Yeah.
And before them, it was be able to do the job and you get the job.
Yep.
It wasn't. So we've upped the bar to keep more people out. But I think, and now we've got people that are highly degreed but can't do the basic things.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but I think we're getting to a point now where it's like, okay, we need to reset this. And I think this is what this time is doing. It's resetting all of these
absolutely
norms.
Go ahead, do you think?
If you want to follow the Traveling Farrs, you can find us on the YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, iTunes, Spotify, and any place that good podcasts are sold. At the Traveling Farrs. I've been forgetting to say that.
What?
I'm surprised you guys haven't picked that up. I've been saying all the things, but then I didn't say the Traveling Farrs. If you like the Instagram or the Twitters, Traveling Farrs, which stuff goes up every day over there. Check that out. If you like the email, travelingfars@gmail.com, that Karen will check incessantly.
I check it a couple times a day.
And the blog space, thetravelingfars.blueberry.net. No E's in the blueberry.
And don't forget to check out our Patreon. I don't know the link for that, but we have a Patreon.
It is patreon.com/thetravelingfars.
Go check it out.
It's down there.
You can support us directly with your monies that you have. Give it. Hand it over. And you'll get a nice shout out.
You can be
You'll be on the green screen.
You could be a
patron.
A patron on Patreon.
You get a nice list with all your names.
I'm scrolling the list right now of everybody that's a Patreon.
Patron.
You see, you can't say it. You see, you
Patron.
can't say it. Once you get Patreon in your head, you don't get patron back. Patron just gets thrown out. It's been replaced. Because it's supposed to be a patron. But
via Patreon.
But Patreon it's all that you are a Patreon now.
No.
Yeah.
They are still called patrons.
No. You're a Patreon on Patreon.
God, you're saying the word too much.
See?
It's starting to lose me.
Now you'll free. Patron will just go whoop.
Everything's starting to lose meaning now. Go check it out. Give us your money.
Say goodbye to the people.
Bye, people.
Make it rain.
You know what's so funny about that?
Make it digitally rain.
This, just so that all of you understand, this does not come from people sitting around with lots of money and they're just doing this comes from people in strip clubs giving strippers money.
Yeah, didn't everybody?
No, they don't know that.
Everybody does it. I knew that.
No.
Making it rain was always a stripper thing.
Middle schoolers doing this for I have lots of money.
Oh, Lord.
Instead of I'm giving naked lady money.
Yeah, that was make it rain on the naked lady.
Yeah, give the naked lady money.
Give the nice naked lady the money.
It's always great when you see a first grader. Yes, especially here in Mexico.
Give the nice naked lady money.
Yeah,
come on
that's
now,
what it
y'all don't understand what y'all doing, man.
That's why you ask questions. Don't just do things, because then you look stupid.
Then you look stupid,
and you don't know why you look stupid.
Peace.